there's TV tables behind the arcade machines over there. So if somebody wants to grab, I know Bill's going to grab one.
All right, all right. Can folks hear me this time? Yeah, I can hear myself now. Nice.
All right, I believe we are live. So if anybody here wants to boost our numbers or watch the stream, participate in the chat, go ahead and check out twitch.tv/Anthromancer or scan the QR code. And helps us register as successful in the algorithm. Let me see here. Everybody's holding the alcohol they're going to put on the table.
I've got my button on the
Sure would be nice if we had some tables up here. All right. Cool. I got the timer pulled up. We got our gamers. And I am going to have to do the tutorial, so.
Okay. When do you want the stinger?
You guys feeling good? Feeling comfy? Ready to play some? All right. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get this thing on the road.
Ready?
Monday Night Mercenarium.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to another installment of Monday Night Mercenarium, streaming to you live straight from the Crack Fox in downtown St. Louis. My name is Daniel Drake. I'm the creator of Anthromancer and Mercenarium.
And I am Sam Hatfield. I am co-hosting.
And we are we're excited to bring you another installation. I'm not sure if I said it. This is our 29th consecutive week. 29 consecutive weeks of Monday Night Mercenarium. So, I don't know. I'm proud of myself for not dropping the bag so far. Knock on. Oh, this thing's wood. That's wood. Okay. A little laptop stand. So if this is your first time joining us for Monday Night Mercenarium, this is a weekly game night built around an original St. Louis-developed card game called Mercenarium. This game feels a little bit like chess meets poker meets Mario Kart. Now, when we start the stream, we like to do a quick visual overview of the rules of the game. Now, you don't have to pick everything up. There's going to be a lot of information coming at you, but this will make it easier for you to understand what's going on when we get the game started. We've got our 4 players for our 4-player exhibition game, and then after that, we will do a 1-versus-1 tournament, the winner of which can choose to get their fortune told by me. Okay, so go ahead and go to the How to Play stream for me, Sam. So, How to Play Mercenarium, Anthromancer's game of strategy, chance, and magic. This is a strategy card game for 2 to 4 players. Like I said, we will do our 4-player exhibition match, and then after that, 1-versus-1 with a chess timer. Each player controls a house at one edge of the board. So the center space of each side is that player's like home space, their free space. And the cards they control have an orientation line on each edge that's going to point towards the player who controls it. You can see that on the diagram here. Each of the main cards, the black cards, cards with black backs, have a couple of features to them. They have suits, face values, and dots around the edge, and you can see these outlined here. It's like a deck of poker cards, so 2 through 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace, and then each suit has a suit-specific sort of a joker. We call it a lord, and you can see that all on screen here. The way the game is played is players are going to be moving their cards around and trying to capture enemy cards by having more dots on their adjacent edge. You can see here an Ace of Blades with 5 dots on its side beats a King of Claws with 4 dots on its side, meaning that the player controlling the ace can move it into the king's spot, capture the card. They would then put that face up along their edge of the board. The objective is to be the first to 5 captures. If dots are tied, we have a little wheel that you will see on the stream that tells you which suit beats which suit in ties. Oh, welcome.
New follower.
Welcome to following. What is that? SMTS 9000. Thanks for joining us. So this is the alchemy wheel, and this tells you which suit beats which suit in ties. And where it says annihilates, if either of those cards interact, they would both go to the discard pile. And if they're the same suit, they can't interact. Back to, or did I skip Lord? No, Lords are, I guess I should put Lords next. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, right. It's because of their summoning. That's why I put it later. Okay. So summoning is playing a card on the board. Your house, your free space, you can put any card of any value there, regardless of its suit or face value. You may also summon into spaces directly adjacent to cards you control, as you can see on the diagram on the left, as long as it is the same suit or within one face value. So here you can see the 10 of gears. You can bring in a jack because it's one face value away, or you can bring in the 8 of gears because it's the same suit. However, the other two cards would not be legal because they are too far away or too different in suit. We like to say it's sort of like Uno logic. So if the cards would play together in a game of Uno, then you can summon them next to each other on the board. Also, cards on the board can be moved one space, forwards, backwards, left, or right. Movement is the easiest mechanic to learn. Back to Lords. Lords have no dots, and they always fight with their suit. So, you basically always refer to that. Only with Lords, you refer to that wheel always. With all the other cards, it's only if they have a tie and dots, but with Lords, the Lord of Blades is going to beat a claw no matter what dots are showing, and it's going to lose to a gear no matter what dots are showing. It annihilates with a soul and blocks with its own suit. So the game is called Mercenarium because one of the core mechanics is buying mercenaries. Mercenaries are defined as jacks, queens, kings, or aces. You can see that outlined here. And when a mercenary is bought, basically what a player is doing is they've captured a card, they flip it face down to spend the capture, and then they can gain control and pivot an enemy jack, queen, king, or ace to their own control, their own orientation, and then they get to use that card for summoning, for capturing, as if it was theirs the whole time. The only limitation on buying a mercenary is called contracts. We say a mercenary is under contract if it was just summoned or just bought by another player, which basically means it cannot be summoned or bought again until a full round has passed. Now, at the beginning, I described this as chess, poker, and a little bit of Mario Kart. There's a suit of cards that are like power-ups, and we call them hymns. They all have blue backs. We will often sometimes you'll see them on stream as blue cards. There are 15 in total. Each one has a unique effect, and a big part of getting into the game is learning the hymns. However, as commentary, we will explain each hymn that comes up during gameplay so that you can understand what the players are doing, why and how it works. You can also get a PDF of all of the hymns and all the game rules for free from a Google Drive folder you can access on anthromancer.com. So if you want to be more informed or see the visual diagrams of what each hymn does, you can check that out. We used to surface them on stream, but there's too much information already on stream, so we decided it just makes it an easier viewing experience if that hymn is just something we explain. You may also make sacrifices from your hand in order to learn additional hymns during the game, and players will do this very frequently when they don't have a better move. We call this learning a hymn, and you can only hold one hymn at a time, but you can get rid of your hymn with another sacrifice in order to learn a new one. So back to the objective. You can be the first to 5 captures, or you can eliminate all of your opponent's cards and be in their house. If you have a card in their house blocking them from summoning new cards on the board, you can win that way. Much easier in 2-player games than 4-player games. And finally, in the event that all of the hymns get used or all of the cards in the main deck get drawn, the game enters Singularity, and it's sort of like a sudden death mode where if that deck runs out, the player with the most unspent face-up captures wins the game. This is sort of like the last-ditch effort. The game will come to an end. And so, as a recap, what you can do on your turn is you can summon a card, you can move a card, capture a card, buy a mercenary, sing a hymn, learn a hymn, or draw a card. One action. You get to do one thing. So if you draw a card, that's your whole turn. If you play a card, that's your whole turn. And once again on Singularity, a couple other rules change. Players have to draw a card at the end of each turn in Singularity to speed the process of the game ending. And a couple of their hymns function changes. And in a multiplayer game, you can't be in limbo, which is where you have no cards on the board and an enemy in your house for more than one round. Once you hit Singularity, it eliminates you from the game if you get in that position. So I believe that's everything. Thank you so much for bearing with me on that tutorial. We want you to have all the information you need. So we can now go to the 4-player view and join our friends and competitors. We have, in the top left, we have Ryan, not that Ryan Adams. In the top right, we have Samwise1010. In the bottom right, we have Bill, a.k.a. Mud Fudge. Bill will not be participating in the tournament this evening, but Bill's there. And then in the bottom left, we have Drew, who's fairly new to Monday Night Mercenarium, but is kicking a lot of ass in the tournament so far. You haven't won yet, but it's just a matter of time with you, sir. And so have we determined who's going first? It's going to go Drew. All right, Drew. I am going to, let me see, is there a way, where's the hymns are over here. So I'm going to put this right. Sam, can you see that? Can you see that number? A little bit, kind of? It's not great.
No. Wait,
Okay.
what am I looking at? Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I know it's very, very faint. This is just, sorry, that's all up in your French fries, but that's just going to be so we can, I'm going to be here to modulate that.
That's a great phrase, by the way. Sorry to be up in your French fries.
All up in your
Jalapeno
toasted
French
ravs.
fries.
Here, I'm going stepdad mode. That's right. How you doing, guys? All right, Drew, we're going to start with you. You got 30 seconds. Drew's ditching the dirt. He doesn't like his 2 of souls, so he throws that card away. Ryan's opening with a hymn. He opens with the Fool, set to a 4. Sam brings out the 9 of blades. And Bill is also going to ditch the dirt, so it's going to go back to Drew. Now, the Fool is a card who it has the number of dots on its die on every edge of the card, so it can be very powerful. But every time Ryan moves it, he has to re-roll that card, so we'll see what happens. Now, it seems that a couple hymns have been thrown away to get new hymns, and Ryan refreshed his hymn now that he's got his on the board, and Ryan is going to move out into the middle and gets the Fool set to a 2, which is not strong. Drew's continuing to work. Ryan moves to the side there, and it's still a 2. He's trying to evade Sam's encroaching 9 of blades. Sam is bringing that over towards Ryan's house. And Bill advances with the 10 of gears. 10 of gears is a pretty strong card to have early game. And Drew's taken the advantage of not having any active threats, although Ryan is getting pretty close, and now the Fool has 4 dots. Oh, and Sam has the Fox, and he's going to set it to a 2, making it a Lord of Souls. Now, the Fox, you can see the Fox dice on the stream overlay. Those correlate to a suit, and the Fox is a Lord whose suit Sam gets to pick. When he summoned it set to 2, that makes it a Lord of Souls, which means that it threatens the gears. He's probably trying to threaten Bill, who has that 10 of gears out there. If Bill advanced, he would be threatened by the Fox at the moment. Bill has 8 seconds. All right, he's using Visionaire, and he moves his 10 of gears behind the 9. Visionaire lets you teleport a card, so that's going to be a problem for the 9 of blades. Drew brings out the 8 of claws attached to the Seasons hymn, which means that he can rotate it however he likes. Ryan is using Zodiac. Zodiac rolled to a Seasons. He's not going to use it. Now, the Fool and the Fox block each other unless one of them has its special icon, which, if that comes up, we'll explain it. Bill is keeping pace with Sam, threatening that 9 of blades. Drew's going to learn a new hymn. Ryan advances. That's a 4. That's going to threaten Seasons on just about every edge there. Now, Seasons, Drew can rotate that card again, but the highest value he has on that 8 is a 3, so the Fool is comfortably beating that. Sam dodges the 10 once more, and Bill summons the King of Gears behind the 9 of blades, giving Sam fewer places he can go. And Drew dodges. You can't turn it, and you can turn it or move it. Ryan? Ryan's going to move into Drew's house and rolls a 4 again, so that's going to continue to threaten Seasons. Sam is ditching. Was that a hymn or 2 cards? Okay. He's ditching 2 cards to learn a hymn. It would be a trade. If the king attacked the 9, the Fox would then be threatening the king. And in the event that the game ends after Singularity, the value of the captures begins to matter, so Sam would make out ahead as a king is more valuable than a 9. All right, goes to Drew. Oh my goodness, you certainly did. Wow. So Drew used Arcanum, which destroys all cards within 2 spaces of a card that's in play. Very messy, but beautiful. You got rid of a lot of cards. That's going to be primary. Ryan rolled primary on Zodiac. He's going to use it. You have 18 seconds to look at your hymns and make a choice. All right, go ahead and we will pause the clock, put the cards back in the hymn. So primary allows a player to look at the top 3 cards of the hymnal, pick one, and use it right away or hold on to it. So Ryan made his choice very quickly. We will resume play. What are you going to do? Use it or he's using Avarice. That allows him to buy a mercenary without spending a capture, even if it's under contract. So now that King of Gears belongs to Ryan. So that is a turn. Sam's going to move away. He's dodging the King of Gears. And now it's Bill's turn. Bill brings out the Queen of Gears to block Ryan. Goes to Drew. A lot fewer cards on the board on your side of the game now. Drew's learning a hymn. Ryan's going to move over to threaten the 9 of blades. Sam's going to dodge towards the middle of the board. It goes to Bill. Bill's bringing the 10 of gears out to play. And Drew is continuing to draw cards. Ryan advances into quite a situation. He's threatening, it's not quite a fork because it's controlled by different players, but he was threatening both the 9 and the queen. So it goes to Bill. Bill's going to pull the queen back into safety. And Drew brings out the 9 of gears in direct threat to the 9 of blades as 3 dots, gears beat blades and ties. Ryan moves the king into the center, and Sam dodges danger, moving that 9 all the way over. And it is being pursued on all fronts by gears. So it goes to... Oh, Drew's using Optimo, which lets him rearrange all the cards that are within 2 spaces of his... that doesn't count. That's... Yes. So you can put it there, like it's this ziggurat. Okay, beautiful. That'll work. It threatens the king. And interesting. Sam's 9 is up shit creek without a paddle. So Sam's going to bring out the ace of gears in his house. That's going to block the queen. Goes to Bill. Bill moves his 10 of gears over. It's Drew's turn. Drew. Oh, dear. He was going to be first on the board, but Sam threw Meat War. It's the only hymn that invalidates one single capture by surprise. So that means it goes to Ryan, and then Sam's turn will be skipped. He played out of turn. So it goes to Bill. Goes to Drew. Goes to Ryan. Ryan moves his king of gears over. Sam is going to draw a card. Bill is going to learn a hymn, discarding the jack of blades. And Drew brings out the Lord of Claws, which blocks. It doesn't block the king. They would annihilate each other if they interacted, but it will protect his house from the king going into it. Ryan, though, has the Lord of Blades, which would win that fight. He brings that out. Sam draws a card. It goes to Bill. Bill's using primary. That's going to let him look at the top 3 hymns, pick one, and use it right away or keep it. Once you've made your selection. All right, he's made his choice. We're going to shuffle real quick. One moment. You can cheese yourself a couple extra seconds to think while I shuffle. And resume. Keep it. Goes to Drew. Whatever will Bill use? Drew draws a card. Ryan. Ryan pulls his king of gears back. Sam is going to draw a hymn, learning a hymn by discarding a 10 of blades. Bill draws a card. Goes to Drew. Drew's doing the same. He's discarding 2 to get a hymn. Ryan brings out the ace of blades. It's going to threaten the Lord of Claws. And Sam draws a card. Bill moves his 10 into the center column. He sees a lot of blades over there. Ah. Drew threw the shade to put the ace of blades off into a corner where Brian has to play defensively or else Bill's going to get a capture. Sam's drawing a lot of cards. He's biding his time. It goes to Bill. Bill's using Dragoon, and he takes himself the ace of blades. Dragoon lets a player move a card twice in one turn, which can be a very lethal move in a game where all the cards only move one space at a time. So Ryan advances to threaten the Lord of Claws. Sam moves the ace of gears out into the fray. Goes to Bill. Decisions. Bill's drawing a card. Goes to Drew.
Ryan, you need to rub your chin thoughtfully more often. Yep.
Who says that?
Says, Cat Jump John.
Drew moves the Lord to the side. Ryan continues to pursue with the Lord of Blades. Sam moves the Ace of Gears into the center space. Pretty commanding position for such a high-value card. Goes to Bill, draws a card. Drew moves his Lord of Claws forward. Ryan's drawing a card. Sam's drawing a card. Bill's going to trigger Singularity. Da 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 da. That's why I'm doing the John Cena music. Anyway, so in Singularity, no, you haven't. You haven't seen because you can't see him. I'm sorry. You can't see him. You can't see him. Every pancake I make of him just vanishes.
It's like Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
I did give him a pancake of his face once. There's YouTube evidence of this. So in Singularity, all of the cards in the discard pile and the main deck get shuffled into one deck, and each player draws at the end of each turn. There's no longer any cost to drawing hymns. However, you can't just learn one. They show up in the main rotation of the deck, and we got some chunks in there. We got some veins, as they would call it at Guys Night. Now, Bill triggered Singularity, which means that Sam is the one who cuts the deck. Because whether or not a hymn shows up on top, Bill probably wants a hymn on top. Sam probably doesn't want to give Bill access to a hymn, and so you get this sort of like soft card counting. It's not even frowned upon. It's how we play the game. All right, and then Bill, you will draw a card, and we will resume. And it goes to Drew. Now, we are in Singularity, so if a player gets put into limbo for a full round, they are out of the game. Drew draws 2. So normally you would draw 1, but because it's in Singularity, you also draw for turn. Sam's using Fire Eyes, which lets him draw 5, plus 1 to grow on. So he's going to get a hymn, and he's going to get a bunch of cards there. Goes to Bill. Looks like there's a... Bill's going to draw 2. Everybody's getting a lot of hymns, loading up their hands with some powerful cards. But when that deck runs out, the game ends. So if nothing changes on the board, then it won't matter how many hymns they have. Ryan plays the Queen of Souls, using his King of Gears as a base. Uno logic. Sam brings out the Fool in a very interesting position. And it's got 5 dots, but it's not going to be enough to beat the Lords. Lords can only be beaten by the Fool on the circle icon, which is functionally unbeatable. Bill brings out the King of Blades attached to the Druid card, meaning it cannot be bought. So that Lord of Claws is going to be in a precarious spot there. Right? Oh, sorry. You're just being a good steward. Thank you. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan is trying. Uh-huh. Claws and other lords, correct. That's a tough spot. Goes to Ryan. He doesn't want to dig. So he's going to move that Lord of Blades forward to threaten the Lord of Claws. Goes to Sam. Sam's going to take his turn to draw. He wants that hymn. You never know what you're going to get. Could be Dragoon. Could totally change the game. It's interesting because Bill is the only player with any captures so far. So he is in the lead. And if that deck runs out right now, he wins the game. Oh, there goes Dragoon. He moves his 10 of Gears. Draw card, Bill. Into the fray. Interesting move. He wants to score a point off of that Lord of Blades attacking. Drew's in a tough spot. He's not in limbo anymore. Or not threatening to be in limbo, because... I see his hand. This is tough. You got one. All right, draw card. Goes to Ryan. He brings out the Ace of Souls. Ryan's going to capture that Lord of Claws. He wants to get on the board here. And Sam's going to capture that Ace of Souls. Yeah, he has to... Hang on. He has to roll, draw card. And Bill. Ryan's going to meat war his capture. That means that Ryan is now in the lead because he now has the highest value capture. That's true. So it goes to Sam, and now Sam takes the lead by capturing another card with the Fool. Sorry. And, ooh, oh my goodness. Oh, I thought he was, wow. He almost got you there, man. Well, it's Bill, I believe. For those, I took the table mic away, just so you know online, he said, some bitch. Draw card. Goes to Drew. What you got there, Drew? He's going to bring out the Fox. What's he going to set it to? If you want gears, you want 3. All right. That's right. Draw a card. Goes to Ryan. Ryan's going to capture the Fool. And it goes to Sam. Sam's got the Lord of Souls. It's gonna threaten both the King and the Fox right now. Goes to Bill. Bill brings out the Queen of Claws. Goes to Drew. The Fox does not roll when it moves, so but go ahead and draw your card. Goes to Ryan. There's 2 hymns. I think there's 3 on top, but okay, Ryan's gonna use Arcanum to blow up a bunch of cards over here, get himself a new hymn. Very interesting. He's trying to secure his lead. There's only a couple cards left, only a few more rounds remain, and so it goes to Bill. There's still the possibility that one of these players could find a new solution. Drew brings out the Jack of Blades. Goes to Ryan. Ryan's going to draw 2. He's trying to end the game as quickly as he can, folks. Sam advances with the Ace of Gears. That's going to threaten the Queen of Claws and the Jack of Blades. Bill dodges. Drew does the same. Draw your card. Goes to Ryan. Ryan's going to draw 2. He's buying his way to the bottom. Sam's doing everything he can to secure a capture. He's moved into a beautiful fork there. Sam might still have this. That's a tough.
So, fact from the chat: Meat War backwards is Raw Team.
Raw. It's sure.
Almost.
Give him. All right. Goes to Drew. Actually, I think just time-wise, it looks like there's only 3 cards left. So, if assuming Ryan draws 2, you may draw your card. It goes to Ryan. Ryan wins the 4-player demo game by one turn. Brilliant. That was a lovely, lovely round of play. Awesome. Okay. Do me a favor, Sam, and go to. I think we should go to the bracket.
Okay.
I see Tia and Mac are here. Are y'all both going to participate? And Caleb? It'd be great if you did. Okay, cool. We'll sign you up real quick. Let's go ahead and add these wonderful folks. That's right. Are you still Tauby? You changed it, didn't you? Do we remember what it is? That's right. Underscore? TONIGHT or ITE? Oh, right. Okay, cease, little thing. Okay, and participant. And then we have, so Tia's there. And Caleb, you're in? You don't have to be, but next week. Okay, all right. I've got you signed up, Tia. Is that okay? All right. So we have 6 participants, I believe. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. John, welcome. Are you in? Awesome, beautiful. I just want to make sure that we're confirmed. And if there's anybody else that wants to join the tournament before we get started, please let me know. I still have not figured out the studio mode thing, so I'm gonna have to go to the 1 versus 1 and let me just organize this real quick.
Okay.
One thing at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh man.
What's up?
We're just getting like lots of Meat War anagrams in the chat now, which
Oh,
is amazing.
that's our new thing?
Yeah. Also, John Crane wants.
Will you turn the other way? I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm just so I can see this while you're talking.
Yeah. John Crane wants a Meat War pancake.
A Meat War pancake.
Yeah.
I think we can make that happen.
All right.
By which do you mean like a pancake that causes a war of meat? Do I need a drink? Not at the moment, but thank you. Thank you very much.
I like another one, please. Yep.
Trying to make sure you can see the captions. I need a slightly longer thing. All right. Don't quote me on that. Okay. That's good enough, right? That's good enough.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I always hate that it's a little bit distorted, but it's like very hard to make the people seated up here comfortable.
Yeah.
Like not falling off the edge of the stage just because of the length of the camera arm. But okay, beautiful. So you can go back to the bracket real quick, and we will figure out who is our round one. Let's take a look at the example bracket. You should be able to just go here and go to bracket. Okay. Ryan and John. Pretty solid. Is it? This is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that'll be that. We'll just do since we've got 6 competitors. We'll do a single elimination. It'll just be a slightly briefer tournament, which is fine. I think everybody's fine with that. But in that case, that means that round one, game one is going to be not that Ryan Adams and Jay Rescusage. John and Ryan to the stage. With Ryan, you're going to be north. John, you're going to be south. Yes, sir. Oh, I should probably get the timer out, huh? That's, it's consistency is important when you're trying to build something. So, sorry, I'm in your way there, John. There is the timer. Let me, is that got glare on it, or are we good? We sometimes fight the glare here. How's that look, Sam?
It's like a little bit more south.
Right there?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. All right. So John and Ryan, our first competitors for this especially special 29th consecutive. John rolls a 10. It's going to be a strong opening. Ryan rolls a 9.
Thank
1.
you.
Well, that card is... Let's just go ahead and put all those cards back away. It's the fan. We've got a fan over here just to keep everything... okay. Our biggest fan... Maybe I just point
I could move my arms really fast and be a big fan.
I think that might be worse. We're just going to do that. We're just going to do... That's right. Okay. We're just going to it's going to be drafty over here, but... Okay. That's right. I guess. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each player gets 5 cards to start with, and 1 him. Remember, gentlemen, the discard pile is going to be right here. Now, John, you rolled higher, so who do you want to go first? All right, Ryan. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Ryan opens with the King of Gears. He's taking chances there.
Oh, and it paid off.
John brings out the 10 of claws. That's upside down, John. Ryan advances with the King of Gears. And John brings out the Jack of Souls. Ryan keeps the pressure on. John dodges to the side. Ryan keeps the pace with the Jack. John dodges backwards. Ryan continues to keep the pressure on. And John throws Arcanum, which destroys all cards within 2 spaces of one of his cards. It's going to refresh the board. Cool. Okay. Board's been a little bit empty, and Ryan brings out the 10 of blades and starts moving across the board, and John meets him with the 6 of claws. Ryan's going to trigger Meat War. He knows what that is. So it seems so far all of Ryan's attack cards have gone to the graveyard. They have not really had a lot of staying power because John has all the answers. Ryan's moving across the board very quickly. John's learning a new hymn. Ryan is within 1 space of John's house. This could be a precarious... Oh, John has the... Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
Dear. John had an answer, but Ryan had Avarice. Avarice buys a mercenary and puts John immediately into limbo, even if it's under contract, and that is the end of round 1. Congratulations to Ryan, going on to the next level. And John, thank you so much for playing.
Oh, did you start the tournament yet?
Oh, right. There's a button I have to press.
Yep.
Okay, you can go ahead and go to the bracket.
Okay.
so that we can come down here. And you know how to do all that.
Yeah.
So that means next up it's going to be Disco 1013 and Mac tonight. Mac and Drew to the stage. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mac, I believe you're going to be south. Thank you kindly. How you feeling? I see you've got your wicked Hot Topic Skulls ring. I dig that. I dig that very much. I think that's going to give you an edge. All right. 3, 4, 5. To the victor. Go this way. Oh, right. I've completely failed to mention the tournament is sponsored by Courtesy Diner, the home of St. Louis's legendary Midnight Slingers. And Courtesy Diner gives us a $75 prize package every week. So the winner of the tournament walks away with $50 cash. Second place gets $25, and then everybody else gets to, I don't know. I need more sponsors.
Everyone else can go buy a slinger.
That's right. Go buy a slinger, so they'll give me more money next year. Go ahead and roll dice. See who's going first. It's going to be a 7. That's right. That's 6. Drew, you get to decide if you'd like to. All right, Mac is going to go first. They have 7.5 minutes on the clock. Mac opens with the Ace of Blades. A lot of dangerous mercenary play this tournament. It's dangerous to open with a mercenary because if your opponent has avarice, that could cause problems. Drew's ditching the dirt. He's getting rid of one of his weaker cards. He has the 2 of Souls, doesn't want it anymore. Mac's got another ace. Mac's just dropping giant cards. Drew responds with the Lord of Blades in his house, and Mac is building a Phalanx along their edge of the board. Drew moves forward with the Lord. Mac is now using Zodiac and rolled a 2, which makes that Zodiac function as Meat War. Very interesting. Drew advances. That Lord of Blades is going to block with the Ace of Blades, as they're the same suit and Lords fight with their suit. Drew brings out the King of Blades, threatening the Ace of Claws directly. Mac's going to learn... Oh, pause the clock. Yep. You broke the rules. Okay. So I have to penalize you. That's a 30-second penalty. And I'm going to give Drew a couple seconds back. Okay. So I now need to, let me reset this. So what happened there, for those following along at home, is Matt currently has Zodiac face up, meaning that they functionally have a hymn, and you can only hold one hymn at a time. This has changed if the card is actually in play on the board, at which point you can get another hymn, but if you have one in potentate, or whatever the frickin' word is, then you can't hold another one. Why is my brain like this? Anyway, Mac, are you ready? Yes. Resume play. Yes, you would, whatever you paid, just reset the state to what it was before you made the mistake. Mac moves the Ace of Claws out to the corner. Drew keeps pace. Mac brings that Lord of Blades over. That ace has nowhere to go now, it seems. Mac moves forward with the Ace of Blades. Drew moves the King of Blades down to threaten the ace. Mac dodges into their house with the Ace of Claws, and Drew moves behind. That Lord is threatening the Ace of Claws again. Blades beat claws and ties, and Lords functionally tie. Mac draws a card. Drew draws a card as well. Interesting. That's right, because Mac has Meat War showing. I forgot about that. Mac moves to the side with the Ace of Blades. Drew's going to take that capture. Mac's going to trigger Meat War. Oh.
Oops. I'll go get it.
That's okay. Keep playing. Glad you found it. Okay, Mac brings out the Queen of Gears, and Drew moves the King of Blades over to threaten the Queen. And now he's going to keep pace with it as Mac moves across the board. Drew's trying to keep that offensive edge. Mac's going to learn a hymn. Drew's going to pull back with the King of Blades. Mac's got Dragoon and uses it to dodge behind the King, shoring up that weak edge to threaten the King. The thing about the Queen of Gears and the King of Blades is that in most orientations, the Queen of Gears is going to beat the King, but Drew was managing to stay on that edge. Now Drew has shored up his weak side with the Queen of Claws, which will keep that Queen of Gears at bay, turning whatever interaction into a trade. Mac brings out the Jack of Blades. Drew pulls back with the Queen of Claws. Mac draws a card. Drew's going to capture. That puts Drew on the board. Mac draws. Drew's now threatening the Jack of Blades with a King of Blades. Mac moves the Jack of Blades to the side. I gotta fix that. Oh my goodness. It's a very interesting dance. A lot of mercenaries on the board. A lot of blades in particular, with a lot of dot power. Mac learns a new hymn. Ditching the dirt over there. Drew brings out the 9 of Gears in his house. Starts moving that across the board. Mac's going to bring out the Fox, setting it to a Lord of Gears. Very interesting play. So the Fox is currently a Lord of Gears. You can look in the top right of your screen to see the Fox icons. 3 on the purple die equates to the Gears. Gears threaten blades and are threatened by souls. Drew pulls back with the King of Blades. All right, Drew's ditching Meat War and another card in order to learn a new hymn. You're going to tag the clock there. Goes to Mac. Mac's going to move the Fox. Drew brings out the 10 of Blades in his house, and Mac moves the Jack of Blades 1 column to the side. Drew draws. Mac moves the Fox forward. Now, as a Lord of Gears, it is threatening the King of Blades there. Drew moves to the side, and Mac pursues. Mac is pursuing, and that's going to give Drew the opportunity to annihilate the Lord of Gears with a claw. So annihilation is when both cards go to the discard pile and nobody gets any captures. Mac's learning a new hymn, goes back to Drew. Drew brings out the Lord of Gears in front of a column of Blades Mercenaries. This will be an interesting couple of turns. Yes, up to twice. It has to be connected to other cards you control. You have to summon it and then summon it. Like, the only thing that you get to disregard is suit and face value. That's how it works. And then put Kinsakuroi in the discard pile and tag the clock. Mac has summoned 2 cards using Kinsakuroi, which lets them summon up to twice, ignoring normal summoning restrictions. That allowed them to bring 2 cards out. Drew's going to go ahead and take that second capture. Hang on, guys. Hang on, go back, Mac. Got to tag the clock, Drew. There we are. Mac moves to the side. That's got Drew in a fork there. Drew moves to the side, and Mac gets their first capture. It's 1-2 with Drew in the lead. Drew's going to annihilate the Lord of Souls. Mac draws a card. Drew draws a card as well. And both players are looking for options. Both players are drawing cards. Drew's moving the King of Blades towards the middle. Mac brings out the Jack of Gears. And Drew moves to the center. Mac brings out the Jack of Souls. Drew moves the King of Blades again. Mac advances with the Jack of Souls. Drew dodges, and Mac pursues. Drew dodges again. Mac pursues. Drew keeps going. Mac's going to draw a card. Drew's using Optimo, which lets him rearrange all of the cards that are within. That is not in range. Sorry, it's not. So your range is, it's this. So you can't grab this one. You can grab the other ones. You can grab, or these are the 2 that are in range, right? All right. Drew has rearranged the battlefield there. Mac moves to the side. Drew learned a hymn. Mac pursues the Jack of Gears into the center space. Dodges to the side. Oh, and there's the fool. Drew brings out the fool, rolls it to a 3. That's going to put Mac in a fork. Both those jacks are threatened. Mac pulls back. Drew's going to get his 3rd capture. Drew is down to 32 seconds. Mac has a very slight lead in time, and that might be the game here.
Oh, Lord of Bones.
That's the Lord of Bones. That threatens everything. Mac's drawing. Drew he's got 25 seconds to make these captures. Mac advances. Drew pulls back. Drew moves to the side.
Boom shakalaka indeed, Mud Fudge.
Boom shakalaka indeed. Drew is bringing that king. Oh, you gotta make sure you move it before you tag the clock. Okay, very interesting. Drew gets a 4th capture. He has 10 seconds to get another capture. Oh my goodness. I love this game. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was not sure where that was going. Oh! Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my holy Toledo. Wait, hold on, Paul. That was it. Wasn't that your card? Yeah, you can't capture your card, Mac, but we very much got down to time on that one. But holy Toledo, that was quite an upset. Wow, I wasn't expecting you to have avarice. So that's gonna be Mac's game, ever so slightly. You both played incredibly. That was so much fun to watch. Round of applause. Round of applause. That was a great end there. Wow, how stressful. Take a load off. Take a breather. Mac, you're going to go to the next round. Speaking of which, these are small tournament. These are going to be the semifinals. We're moving on to Samwise 1010 and Not That Ryan Adams. Sam in the north, Ryan in the south. All right.
You're in the north.
You're in the north. King of the north. They done did that dirty. That was a crazy couple of moments there in that last game.
I clipped it too. So
yeah, I saw. That's a 9. That's not a 9. Okay, cool. Sam, you're going to get to decide who goes first. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And 1 him each. All right, Sam, who's going first? All right, clock starts. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Sam opens with the 10 of blades. Ryan responds with the king of blades. So many first-turn mercenaries this game. What's going on? Sam moves to the side with the 10 of blades. Ryan advances with the king of blades.
I mean, you only have a 1 in 15 chance of losing with an opening mercenary.
Slightly more because of Zodiac.
Oh, right.
But also it depends on the hymn you have.
Right. So
Ryan rolled primary on Zodiac, and he's going to use it, which means he gets to look at the top 3 cards of the hymnal. Pick one. All right, now I shuffle the hymnal. Zodiac, for those who are new to the game, Zodiac is a hymn that has a 12-sided die that corresponds to one of the other hymns. So it's a wild card hymn. And Ryan got primary, which is what let him look at the top 3 cards of the hymnal. Resume play. You using it or... Oh, Ryan is keeping it. Goes to Sam. What did Sam do? Did you draw a card, Sam, or... Okay. I'm just going back and forth between these spots. Sam brings out the Ace of Souls. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. So it's more on stream. Sam draws a card. Ryan draws a card. Sam brings out the Lord of Souls, or sorry, Gears, Lord of Gears. Oh, and he's got Dragoon.
Nice.
So he's going to move twice and capture Ryan's king. That's going to put him on the board with 1 capture. Ryan brings out the Jack of Souls, and Sam brings out the Lord of Claws. He's got the perfect cards, but Ryan has Optimo, and that lets him rearrange all of the cards within 2 spaces of his house. Very interesting. Ryan has the King of Claws to head the Lord of Claws off. Sam's bringing the 10 of Blades in. Now, Ryan was our champion last week. Sam is our most common, most frequent champion. This is a little game of the Titans right now. I believe Ryan's also the one who introduced Sam to the game. A little behind-the-scenes drama. I made you. What's that? Annihilation. Ryan's bringing out the Fox. He's setting it to a 4, making it a Lord of Blades. That's going to threaten Sam's Lord of Claws. Ryan advances with the Jack of Souls and keeps pace. Sam moves that 10 of Blades forward, and now Sam's pulling away. Ryan's going to threaten, and now Sam has that 10 wedged there. Very interesting. Sam's going to take a breather. None of his cards are actively threatened. The Fox is a Lord of Blades, so it blocks with the 10. Ryan's learning a hymn. And the Lord of Claws would capture the Jack, which is Ryan did not capture. Sam's attaching Seasons to that 10 of Blades, which totally changes the game there. That's going to be Mutual Annihilation with the Jack of Souls, not capture. Sam can put his cards in whatever orientation he wants with Seasons attached. He moves that Lord over. Ryan's keeping pace. Ryan's going to go for the Annihilation there. Send both cards to the discard pile. Sam's learning a new hymn. Ryan advances to threaten the Lord with his Lord of Blades. Once again, you can see the Fox icons in the top right of the screen. It's a very interesting game. Sam's going to put Druid. He's got all of the attachments this game. Puts Druid on the Ace of Souls, meaning it can no longer be bought, even with the use of a hymn like Avarice. Ryan threatens the Lord of Claws. He advances. Seems that Sam does not want to annihilate. He wants to evade. He likes having the Druid around. That's the interesting thing. Once you attach to a card, you get attached to a card, you know?
That's art reflecting life, everyone.
That's right. It's all a metaphor for capitalism. Ryan's using Fire Eyes. Sam learns a hymn. This is beautiful music to get your ass kicked to. Ryan brings out the Queen of Blades. It's got Sam in a fork. Strong impulse to protect his Druid, but Sam has Meat War, baiting Ryan into triggering that and losing his board state. So Ryan is going to roll the Fox die, and he gets exactly what he needs. That's a Lord of Claws. That's going to threaten the Druid, no matter what edge it's on. Now, what does Ryan do? Ryan brings out the Lord of Souls in Sam's house. That's going to keep Sam from using his house and possibly put him in an elimination situation. Sam is going, he's turning to the hymnal. He's turning to the gods. Dodges to the corner. Now Ryan has to solve this, though, because if he only uses the Fox to pursue, he can't actually capture because that ace moves at the same speed. So Sam's using primary, we are nearly in, don't look, Sam, there's only 2 cards, so he knows what they are, but if I can sufficiently shuffle them, he won't know which ones they are. Resume play. You keeping it or using it? Sam's using Arcanum. Oh, Jiminy Himblies. That is going to change the game. Ryan's got the Fool on the board now. Here we go. Hit a couple seconds after. Ryan's moving across, rolling a steady, consistent set of 4s. Sam learns a new hymn. Ryan's making his way downtown. He's walking pretty fast. Here he goes. He's one spot. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Oh, geez. That is the Lord of Bones. That threatens everything. And he's triggered Singularity. What is happening? Okay. You didn't tag the clock this time. You remembered. I'm proud of you. So when we use the chess timer, if a player tags the clock before taking their card, because the timer's ending the game anyway, you actually don't get that card, which can really sting if there's a him on top, which sometimes happens. So Ryan triggered it, so Sam, you get to cut the deck. Also, if you tag the clock right before we hit Singularity, not only do you not get your card, the next player... Oh, how'd that happen? What the hell? I should be fired. I should be shit-canned. So, what the hell? Does this guy even know how to shuffle a deck of his own damn cards? But yeah, so for a while, a couple weeks in a row, Ryan would get to Singularity and tag the clock in a rush, but then that means that his adversary gets to cut the deck, and they can stack the deck to where there's a him on top. Okay. And resume play. Ryan, draw your card, tag the clock. Goes to Sam. We're in Singularity now. Sam's going to draw, and he gets to draw a second one because, yeah, there they go. Drawing two. A lot of hymns being revealed. Oh, 3, 4, 5, and 1 to grow on. Sam scores 2 hymns with Fire Eyes, which lets him draw 5 cards from the deck in Singularity. Ryan's going to bring out the 10 of Gears in his house. This is a very interesting predicament. Sam's got a lot of hymns. Ryan's playing it safe. It's very difficult to play when anything you put in your house will immediately be captured and lock you into limbo. The Fool, as the Lord of Bones, captures everything. The only thing that it... Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Ryan was right that Sam had an answer. Sam used the Shade to send the Lord of Bones all the way into the corner where it's going to be less of a problem. Sam's going to draw 2. Ryan's going to take that opportunity to keep moving across the board, hoping that Sam does not have a response. 2 spaces. Sam has... Look at that. He's brought the Druid back from the dead, and it's another Druid. It's the King of Souls. Ryan threatens the King of Souls with the 10 of Gears. Sam dodges to the side. Ryan brings out the Jack of Souls in Sam's house. Sam advances to threaten the 10 of Gears and draws his card. Goes to Ryan. Ryan moves away, draws a card. And Sam has Dragoon. That's going to let him get his second capture. What's Ryan going to do about that? What am I looking at? He's got Kinsakuroi, and he's going to summon twice, bringing that King of Claws out into the fray to be a problem for the King of Souls. Pulls back, cleans up his house. Now, the players are strategically choosing not to draw so as to not give their opponent a hymn. As we can see, the second card there is going to be a hymn. So this will sometimes happen. Sam's going to take that chance to draw 2. Pressure was off for one moment. He gets to get that hymn. Ryan's advancing. Sam pulls back with the King of Souls. The Druid. He's keeping the pressure on that Jack. Yeah, there's no way to enforce somebody drawing at the end of... And because the point of that mechanic is to end the game by drawing with card draw, since the clock is here, we actually find it's better and competitive if, like, you can... It changes the meta a little bit, right? Yeah, it's just when you're using the chess timer. Yeah, you get punished in this case. He's using Optimo to set things up. He's got Seasons and Druid over there. And he's got that king threatened by Seasons. And now he's got, that's what we call a fork. The king is threatening the Jack, and the 9 is threatening the king. So Ryan can only save 1 unless he has some mumbo-jumbo up his sleeve. Sam captures. That puts him at 3. Ryan's going to draw 2. And Sam moves forward to threaten the king. Going to defend. Sam is hungry for those claws. Ryan moves forwards. Sam brings the druid forwards to shore up its weak side. Ryan moves into Sam's house. Moves forward. Ryan's bringing the fool out of retirement. Moves it towards to protect the jack a little bit. Sam draws a card. Ryan moves the jack of claws forwards. Sam's going to keep pace. Ryan's going to move to the side. Sam brings out the ace of blades in that corner. It's going to be a problem for the king. Ryan brings out the Lord of Gears on the flank of the king to protect it from the ace. Sam brings out the Lord of Claws. Interesting. That's going to block the jack. Ryan moves that fool into the fray. Oh, dear. Well, it'll be a trade at the very least. He says no. He doesn't want Sam to get to 4 captures there, so he throws Meat War. Avarice. Ryan throws Avarice. And that Ace of Blades is his now. Ryan's thinking. Moves to the side. Sam keeps pace. Sam is beating Ryan in captures and in time. Ryan's got about 53 seconds left. Sam's got about 1 minute and 53 left. Zodiac. Kinsakuroi lets him summon up to 2 in a row. It's not what he wants. He's looking for something that'll get him out of this situation. Meanwhile, Sam has got himself another hymn. Ryan brings out the Queen of Blades to threaten the Lord of Claws. He's keeping pace. He's got to put the pressure on for sure. Ryan goes ahead and forks those cards. Oh my goodness. What the heck? What a gigantic Arcanum. Wiped the board clean. Sam's going to use Primary, which is going to let him in Singularity go through the entire deck, pick 1 card, grab it, and then we shuffle the remaining cards. He cannot use it this turn, which normally you can do in the main game with Primary, but gives you way more selection. And he did not get a hymn because it seems that we might be out of hymns. Resume play, Sam. Tag the clock. Ryan moves to the side, brings out the King of Gears. Sam brings out the Ace of Gears. Ryan's going to use Zodiac, and that rolls on Visionaire, which lets him move a card to anywhere on the board, excluding houses. Sam brings out the Ace of Souls. Ryan's got 30. Oh my gosh, guys. I guess I did not hit that hard enough. You both just magically got 10 seconds or something like that. Keep playing. This is no longer legitimate. That's right. Annihilation, okay. Ryan has 26 seconds. And Sam has 48 seconds. Anything can happen, man. Sam draws 2. Getting very close. Visionaire, Ryan moves the king. He's trying to keep pace there. Oh my goodness, he brings out the Queen of Claws. Oh dear. Oh, the fox. Sam's bringing out the fox as the Lord of Flowers. Says, this is too messy for him. Oh, brings out the Lord of Blades. That's going to threaten the Queen of Claws. And Ryan's pursuing. They're both doing a good job of... And that's game. Game on Sam. Beaten by 19 seconds. All right. Yeah, go to the bracket. Wild. Wild. Yeah. Close to the end of the deck. Yeah.
Let's see.
Wow. Well fought. You almost had him in the first half. Right when you triggered Singularity. I feel like if you'd moved into his house, you would have had it.
I was sure trying. I had shades. So
Oh, okay. Nothing matters. Nothing matters.
All right.
they were both right there, and I had shade, and I was like, all right, I can take my time. That was the only reason why I wasn't. I assumed it was something like that. Yeah. Well, either that or you were just panicking. Yeah. You and I both panicked. Yeah, like I had shades, so I was like, all right, even if that were real.
Who do we have next there, Sam?
We have Tia and Mac.
Tia and Mac.
Tia to the north.
You said Tia's north? Okay.
A tree frog? Oh, you mean with the shoes?
Yeah, your shoes are totally giving me tree frog.
I hadn't thought of that.
I love them in all their bright greenness.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's been a couple weeks. I imagine. I'm so glad you're here. We've missed your energy. Mac, welcome back to the stage. Are you psychologically prepared?
As much as I'll ever be, Dan.
All right. Mac rolls a 6. Tia's got a 9. What's it going to be, Tia? All right. Clock has started, 7.5 minutes. Mac opens with the King of Blades. Tia brings out the 10 of Gears. Mac brings out the King of Claws. And Tia brings out the Ace of Gears. A lot of power on the board early game. But it does look like in the current placement, Tia's cards are slightly better positioned. Mac moves to the side. Tia moves to the other direction.
That would be
Draws. Tia
Earthward.
advances. Say what?
Earthward? Like you could refer to the different-
Earthward.
Yeah.
Haha. Cardinal directions works too, but it kind of confuses you if you look at it from a different orientation.
Yeah, yeah.
So both players are dancing around, trying to take advantage of the strengths and weaknesses of each other's cards. Tia breaks and brings the 10 forwards. Mac, meanwhile, is going to use Fire Eyes to refresh their hand. It's going to go to Tia. Tia advances with the 10 of Gears. Mac is ditching 2 to learn a new hymn. Tia is going to take the first capture, getting the King of Claws. And a very strong board placement for her cards there. Mac dodges, trying to keep that king alive. Tia moves into Mac's house. Mac starts to move towards the other side of the board. Tia moves in for the kill. But Mac dodges. And the chase is on. Arcanum. Tia throws Arcanum while Mac is in limbo. Mac is in limbo. Is that... You got an answer? Oh, Mac has the shade. So the game continues. It is still afoot.
Not this time.
Mac brings out the 10 of Souls. Oh. Not using it. Didn't want to. It's just a preview of things to come. Tia draws a card. Tia learns a new hymn. Mac draws. And now Tia is working across the board. Mac brings out the Queen of Souls. Tia moves over. Mac draws a card. Tia advances. Now Tia brings out the Lord of Claws in Mac's house. That's going to fork both of those souls. Mac draws a card. Tia's going to take the Queen of Souls. Mac's going to learn a hymn. Tia moves in with the Lord of Claws. Mac advances with the Ten of Souls. Tia uses Dragoon to get 2, to move twice and get a capture. Now Mac's in a tough spot. Tia has a very large card pointed at Mac's house.
What's Mac gonna do?
Kinsakuroi, interesting. What do we got? What's gonna happen? Wow, that's solid. That's a solid Kinsakuroi. That ace threatens the Lord and protects the Queen. Very solid play of Kinsakuroi there, Mac. Tia's going to pull away. Mac advances, keeping the pressure on the Lord of Claws, and now threatening the Ace of Gears. That's going to prompt Tia to go ahead and take that capture. And now Mac is on the board. This game is not over yet. Tia's going to buy the ace. She can throw that capture weight around. Mac is in limbo. Mac draws a card. That means the game's over. Woo! That was wild. That was wild. Such a Tia move. That was a great game, y'all. She says as she wins. Fantastic. I think so. I think that means you're going to be in the final against, is it Sam?
Yep.
Look at that.
That's right. So you can stay put, Tia.
All right. Well, that was a... Right. Just take my loser's walk and get on out. You gonna get out of here now.
Yeah.
You
That's
are on the
correct.
north side. That's correct. All right. Meet again. Well, Tia, you take a couple weeks off, you come back, and you win money. Now you got to put him in his place. Now, this is not a double elimination tournament, so whoever wins this wins all the marbles. Or at least 50 of them. You win 50 marbles, and the other person gets 25. Okay, Sam.
Oh.
Sam rolls a solid 12, and Tia rolls a 6. So Sam gets to decide who's going to go first. There's your hymns, folks. Remember, discard pile's right here. Who's going first, Sam? All right, clock
move the
starts.
timer a bit south, please.
Clock starts.
Thank you.
Sam brings out the Lord of Claws. Okay. Tia's being very thoughtful. Tia's using Fire Eyes, which is going to let her refresh her hand. All right. Sam moves across the board. He's got that Lord of Claws out there standing alone. Tia is learning a hymn, ditching the Ten of Souls to learn a new hymn. Fire Eyes is good for getting new cards, but then you want to have that extra piece of power there. Now, Sam is very close to Tia. He's in the center space. She brings out the Queen of Blades. Sam's going to pull back, make some space. Tia's going to push that space a little bit. Sam's going to take a turn to draw a card. Tia's going to do the same. Both players are playing a little bit carefully, a little reserved. Sam brings out the 8 of Gears in his house. Tia's ditching Kinsakuroi and another card in order to learn a new hymn. Sam draws a card. I wonder what it could be. Tia moves forward with the Queen of Blades, and Sam dodges into the side column there with the Lord of Claws. Tia keeps pace, and Sam dances back into his original position. Now Tia's going to threaten from the other side, and oh, Sam's got Dragoon, and he manages to get Tia's Queen there and capture. Tia is going to use Zodiac, and she rolls Primary. She could use it if she wanted to. Tia's going to use Primary. Go ahead. Top 3. Tell me once you've made your choice and set the hymn aside. Okay. I'm going to shuffle this, and we'll put this in the discard pile. And after this, we will unpause, and you will let us know if you're using it or keeping it. Oh, don't mind me. Just Butterfingers here in the game's final. Oh, yeah. Tia, resume. Are you using it or keeping it? Tag the clock. Goes to Sam. Sam's going to learn a new hymn as well. Tia draws a card. Sam advances with the Lord of Claws. Tia brings out the Fool. She's going to roll the Fool die. And it's a 5 on every edge. That's a pretty commendable Fool there. It's not going to beat the Lord, but and she's going to move it. Now it's a 3. That's going to block with the 8 of Gears, so it's not actually threatened. Tia brings out the 8 of Claws to block the Lord from entering her house. Sam draws a card. Tia's a wild card. Hell yeah. Tia's rolling the die. And it's a 4.
Nice.
That's exactly what you want to see. Tia pushed her luck and threatened the 8 of Gears to get the heck out of there. That was ballsy. You're wild, Tia. I appreciate that. Sam brings out the Jack of Gears. That's going to block. What's that, Ryan? Big time players make big time plays. We be out here being all foolish. Both players are learning hymns. Tia moves the 8 of Claws over. Sam moves into Tia's house, has the opportunity to lock that house down. What's she going to do? She rolls the Fool. It's a 4 again. It's going to continue to... Oh,
no.
Sam used a very brutal Arcanum there, putting Tia in limbo. What's she going to do in response? You've got nothing? That's the game. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Amazing. Wow. Watch out. All right. Wow. Well, there you are, sir. As per usual. Tia, there you are. Enjoy a nice little partial pizza subsidy or whatever. So Sam, choose your own adventure. You get to decide. So we've been doing a new thing. Sam's gonna get to decide, but whoever wins the tournament gets to either get a reading from me on stream or play me in a game of Mercenarium. Now, Sam got a reading fairly recently. What are you gonna pick, sir? We're gonna go with a game. All right. Hell yeah.
Boss battle.
Boss battle. We need a boss battle transition. Like a little metal riff. All right. Well.
All right.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, Sam, you're going to have to do some commentary.
Sure.
Because I'm going to be thinking real hard with my brain parts.
I feel like you can just think out loud and tell me all your plans.
Tell 'em all the plans. That's right. Announce so that people on the stream know what they are. That's right. So I'm a good producer.
All right.
Viewers need to know your internal model.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew.
All right, Dan rolls. 12.
Spicy.
Brutal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely heckle.
You gotta copy him.
I will say we don't have the table mic anymore.
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
Oh, you
cool.
want to take
All
my
right.
mic?
No,
Okay.
I just want. You gotta copy my. I'll do like shuffly stuff too.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, you should take the mic then. If you're gonna heckle and do shuffly stuff,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
should take the mic. You should be our boss battle heckle guy.
All right. I make no promises as to the quality.
All right.
That's a 9. I missed the first one. Who's going
I'm going to
first?
go first, and I'm
All
going to
right.
open with primary.
Oh, he's opening with primary. A great early
Aw,
stage hymn to
Jesus.
start with. Am I in the way of cameras? I might be. Oh, yes. Allow me to shuffle.
Indeed.
I was worried about my vanity, which I shouldn't have been. Are you going to keep it or sing it?
I'm going to keep it.
He's keeping it. Prudent. Well, that's a 10. A very forward. That 10 is strong on its northern edge, or its forward-facing edge. I guess it's the southern edge, technically. As the. Oh. Well, that looks like bait, if I had to guess. Ditching some dirt, drawing some cards. Oh, Sam offers annihilation, or the possibility of it. Oh, yeah, you're right. See, this is what happens. I didn't get enough playtime. I'm not warmed up. And threatening and threatening and threatening. Sam continues to advance. Putting some early pressure on. Putting some early pressure on. All right, all right. Dan defending the best way he knows how at the moment. Grabbing for another card. You know, it's not nice to play with your food, Sam. All right, all right. We're seeing lots of gears. It's a gear-rich field. Gear-rich. Not quite rich enough, it seems. Things are looking bad for that 5 of souls. And and there's a meat war invalidating the capture, and now we're in sort of a deadlock here. I'm not looking at anybody's cards. I'm looking at the board. I promise.
Sam beats me a lot.
I mean,
More than most other people.
I've seen it happen.
So I'm always on
Here's
the
a
back
question.
foot.
Here's a question. Oh, hey, I think I figured out why this mic was quieter than the other one. The diaphragm was turned around. So you were talking into the backside.
Look
Because
at
I feel
us.
like I'm much more present
He's a
now.
sound guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
knows these things.
We had that class in sound guy school, was which direction the microphones point. It was pretty close to the beginning, offering some threat to that 10 of gears. Still technically a scoreless game. 10 of blades, offering some defense to that imperiled 10 of gears. Dan's shoring up his hand. Oh, Sam plays the shade. Doing his best to keep Dan on the back foot, and Dan is somewhat upon the proverbial back foot. He advances to stay out of trouble. Sam gets another hymn. Looking for the weapon that's going to put him over the top. Dan threatens both Sam's house and the 10 of blades in a move surprising absolutely no one. And we see a strong, bold fool roll. All he's got to do is beat a 1 is what I was going to say. He had to beat a 1. Well, he had to beat a 2.
It's still protected.
It is still protected, but it's
Not from that.
not from that. So now we got Dan on the board. Go figure. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's a
Hey,
that's
glad
an
you could make it,
unfortunate
man.
fool roll.
Hell yeah.
The fool did not.
This is the last game, so
Did
I'll
not
catch up
agree
with you in
with
a
you.
second. I'm trying to not lose to Sam, and currently I'm not, which is nice. Which
Yeah,
is a nice
no,
thing.
you've
You're beating me
got-
on
you've
time,
got a
so if I
pretty
keep
good-
monologuing,
yes,
you
the,
sly
the
dog.
traditional villain's downfall.
Yeah, we will go ahead and just solve
Yeah,
that real
you're
quick.
gonna go ahead
we'll
and
just go ahead and take the
Dan
fool.
goes ahead and takes the fool as one would expect, offering no particular threat, but no real easy way out. Dan keeps pressure on the 10 of gears, which I'm just going to remind everyone is Sam's only card on the board, just because it's fun to say that. Oh, and now his house is occupied, so that 10 is his only card unless something changes. And Dan can toy with it as he wishes. He thinks about it, considers his options. Yeah, he goes for it. He's keeping him on the back foot, trying to control Sam's movement, which is a great way to... Oh, and then, yeah, putting some threat on that 10. Makes the 10 retreat some more. Jack puts the baby in the corner. Sam goes for a him
My
to
apologies.
try and get him out of that.
That was-
Dan keeps the pressure on.
Oh,
Oh, and now we have a
shit.
fool, which...
Or the fox,
or, I'm sorry, a fox. Yes, you're correct.
as a Lord of Souls.
Which is now a Lord of Souls. An interesting choice to threaten the Jack, obviously. And retreats. Advanced retreats. Whatever you would call that. Oh my. So that's an Ace of Claws, which does offer some threat to that Lord of Souls. Dan considers moving forwards, thinking the better of it, and decides to do it anyway. And now baby's in the corner. That 10 of gears is in the corner, and now, oh, Seasons has been applied, which allows you to rotate any card as a turn action. Applying some more pressure to that 10. Sam gets the fox to a less threatenable place. Dan draws a card and immediately plays it, putting yet more pressure on that 10. That poor 10 of gears has just been getting beaten up this whole time.
Oh, bajibbity
Oh, and
hibbities.
Avarice, however,
My
changes
jimmies
the
are rustled.
tune. Changes
dear.
the tune.
Oh dear. Derp, dap, doop, dip, dap.
Well, now Dan's got a decision to make. He retreats. Sam advances, offering protection to his now 2 gears. Oh, I see Dan thinking about it. And he chooses to draw instead. He decides he wants a card in his hand. All right, keeping pressure on the Seasons on the 9. Pretty much anywhere he goes, that's a rough place to be. Okay, all right. 10 of Souls, defending the 9, defending the Seasons card. Well, drawing and drawing, and drawing and drawing. Little himbledy-timbledy. Ooh, he gives up the ace of gears to get a him. It must not have been a very good one. Sam, however, plays Fire Eyes, allowing him to completely refresh his hand, which is a blow, I would assume.
Yeah, it blows all right.
See, I put it on the
He's
tee, and you
Optimo.
knock it out of the park. That's what I was going for. So Optimo now. An interesting... Where's he going to put Sam's cards? Sam is undeterred, advances. Oh, are we going to annihilate Sam? He thought about it. He really thought about it. And then he thought better of it. I wonder why. The Lord of Gears in Dan's house, thus protecting that 10. Dan goes for the annihilation. So now we got a lot of people all the way across the board from their houses. By a lot, I mean both. Ah, that 10. offering threats.
Zodiac,
And
oh dear.
Zodiac, what do we got here? Oh,
Fire
that is
Eyes.
Fire Eyes. Are you going to you gonna sing it? He plays Fire Eyes, allowing him to refresh his hand yet again. Dan wastes no time in threatening and attempting to set up a fork. There's a capture and the fork. That 10 of souls threatening both gear cards, both the queen and the lord, which is in Dan's house. And suddenly, things are not looking so good for Sam. He was so confident at the beginning. So he protects the queen, allowing Dan to get to 4 captures, which I never counsel as advice to the youngsters. Because now Dan cannot be traded with, and that queen is in.
Oh,
and yet
my
Dragoon
butthole.
gives him one other turn. Dan buys the capture, threatening the queen. Continues to put pressure on. Continues to chase. Well, we're doing a little dance here now. Dan's trying to make up his time deficit. Oh, and Sam buys the ace of claws, thus threatening that 10. Interesting move. An interesting move. Dan's considering his options with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh my. Retrieves with the 10. And is then presented with, so this is a tough decision for Sam to make. He cannot trade with Dan or Dan wins the game. Neither player has a card, much less a hymn. Sam's going to have to do something mighty tricky to get out of this situation, out of this little pickle bucket. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
It's a pickle bucket.
That's not just a pickle. That's a whole bucket. You do not.
Oh, I think you might have discarded it.
Oh, did you discard your capture? Why'd you do that? Yeah, because you did you?
I don't
dragoon
remember
that
what it
10?
was. I don't remember what it was. It might have been this. Because I had that at one point. Yeah. Right. I think you might have discarded.
I think you dragooned to get that 10. So. Oh, you spent it. So that doesn't. All that little bit of. That didn't help you at all. That bit of
I
minutia.
was like, wait a minute.
You got 2 minutes to think about it.
I do have 2 minutes to think about it. Because I can move there, but that doesn't help.
No.
And I can move there, but that doesn't help.
And I think at this point, unless you were able to get Zodiac or Meat War in your hand,
As I said, it's a pickle
you
bucket.
can do that. Okay,
Right.
so this is
Yeah.
the boss battle. There's no money on the line. Something that I've been interested in trying, and maybe if people are paying attention, maybe we can get I don't remember who it was. It might have been more than one person, but somebody mentioned that like at the end, if the game would end that turn, and you have some means of getting a hymn, the Hail Mary rule would say that if that hymn functions, you're allowed to use it.
Oh.
Right? But only once, and only if the game would have been lost on the next turn. If you could, if you use your last turn to draw a hymn.
I can't draw him right now, so I'm not.
Right. So what I'm saying is that if we were to just for experiment's sake, you capture the jack on this turn. I get my 5th capture, but you have that face-up capture.
You could purchase.
Spend it to get a hymn and use it right away.
Let's just, for statistical reasons, Dan won that game. Let's just.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Resume. Okay. And then I would go and take the capture.
and then-
Right.
Okay, so if you buy a hymn by spending that capture, and if you get, well, Visionary,
Wouldn't help you.
That doesn't help you at all.
That's the game.
That doesn't help you. What a wonderful game, though. Hard
Well,
fought
thank you,
by
sir.
all
That was indeed
competitors.
hard fought.
I saw Dan make you, or Sam make you think a couple
You made
times.
me sweat. You were beating me on time.
He was beating you on time.
I was looking at that and I was like, oh Jesus,
You
Jesus.
did your best to prove that, or to show that he was not
All right.
intimidating you. However,
Well, let me go ahead and hop over here on this here stream and make sure that we do our little outro.
All right.
Well, where's the button? Where's the button? There it is. Host. There we go. Well, Sam,
All right.
what do you think? Was tonight a success?
You can't go wrong, Dan. You can't go wrong.
I can
You're
very
just
much
getting-
go wrong.
You're getting better every week.
That's great. I think we're getting better every week. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Monday Night Mercenarium, coming at you live from the Crack Fox. We are sponsored by Courtesy Diner, who provides our prize package every week. We are also partnered with the Royale, where if you want to go and enjoy a watch party on Mondays, feel free to, and to be entertained by Ace, the girl from space. And if you want to learn more about Anthromancer, you can find out at anthromancer.com or ffm.bio/Anthromancer. We'll give you the whole link tree. We've got more content coming out soon. We're working on a redesign of the game. We've got like some neoprene mats I want to roll out in the next couple of weeks. And this is our 29th consecutive one, so we're really proud of what we're building, and I'm really pleased. I really appreciate everybody that comes out and participates, enters the tournament. We're hoping to build this group, and you can be a part of it. We'd love to have you every Monday night. Stream starts around 7:30, and we'd love to see you.
Yeah, and shout out to John Crane. Thank you for
Yes,
the banter on the stream.
of course. Thanks for being here in the chat, John Crane. That makes a big difference. And then I think I wanted to say, oh, right, the thing that I always forget. We have a Patreon. And if you want to support the stream, if you want to support what we're building here, there's no better way to do that than a small monthly recurring donation on Patreon. It helps us. It helps me. It actually helps me. I make about, right now it's maybe $150 a month or so. But that like buys posters and like does all kinds of stuff for Anthromancer that I couldn't do without it. So it's hugely helpful. I would really appreciate your support. So anthromancer.com, you can find a link to all that stuff.
Yep.
Otherwise,
I suggest the full level. That's a good one.
I saw that you did that. It was very, very wonderful. I think that's it. I don't have anything else useful or interesting to say. So press the stinger, Sam.
Monday Night Mercenarium.
Bye, y'all.